Check, 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 1, 2. Testing, testing. This is the testing of an emergency broadcasting system that's not for an emergency and also not a broadcasting system. This is just Jake Johnson on Untethered Live Politi-tics coming to you straight from a computer, straight through YouTube. No OBS, no bells and whistles. I don't even know if you can hear me. I don't know if the camera's working. I don't know if anything's happening. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Yes to what? Excellent. Do I have good volume? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's Untethered Live Politi-tics. I'm your host, Chit Johnson, and just around the corner is the amazing Band Hammer, who may join us later if it works. Nice to see you. I know I'm looking down, but it's because my camera's up there, and I'm normally looking at the camera, but right now I got to look down here because this is where all the action's happening. Maybe I can put my laptop on a pedestal and get it up over my head so I can look up, or I can put my camera down so it'll face up to me. I might could do that. That'd be weird. We'll figure it out. Anyway, who's first in chat? Debbie's first in chat. Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you. Yeah. When God made me, he said, this is going to be fun. You get the gold star for being first in chat. Amanda says, oh, damn, episode 99. One more triple-digit Politi-tics. Congratulations, Jake. Thank you. Thank you very much. Almost. Next Saturday, it'll be triple digits. Or is that what you mean by one more? I see what you're saying. Yeah, thank you. Amanda says, Debbie, here's your gold star. And I said, I'm trying something new. Please bear with me. I saw this in a cartoon once, but I'm pretty sure I can pull it off. Buckle your seatbelt. And Debbie says, Jake wants us to get Bear with him. That too. That works too. Thank you. I like Bear. I like Bear, and I cannot lie. Bears, but never just flies. I don't know. Maureen Flood, hey, long time no see. How you doing? Maureen says, please like and share. Yes, please do. Thank you. Amanda says, LOL, Debbie. Or LOL, right, Debbie. Thank you for Turkison. Nice to see you, buddy. Agent Kyland, welcome back. Nice to see you. Behave. Maureen says, hi, all. And yes, I can see and hear you. Good sound. And I'm not clipping either. Fantastic. I figured out a way to do it. Anytime you want to, Amanda, try to plug in your microphone and see if you can come on in. I think it'll work. Amanda says, Maureen, hamburger upper hand. And Agent Kylan says, hi. And Amanda says, Kylan, hamburger upper hand. Kevin Bernard, my brother from another mother. What's happening? Nice to see you. Kevin says, hold on, my chat's being squirrely. Where did it go? I lost you. Hang on. There you are. Hello, Jake, Amanda, Maureen, and Gold Star Thief. Well, you just got to get here a little earlier, Kev. You can have that gold star for yourself. And Maureen says, hi, Amanda and Jake. Hi, Maureen. Nice to see you. Folks, I apologize about the background. I wasn't prepared for a wide angle. I don't think I can zoom in and get that cropped out in this current position. It's basically just barefooting off the camera, so it is what it is. But at least you can see me, and I'm not on my phone, so that's good. Ferd Turkison, what's up, brother? He says, I sent thumbs up for 10 jewels. Thank you, Ferd. I don't know what that means, but I appreciate it. Maureen says, I'm here, LOL. Well, I'm glad you're here, and there's no place I'd rather you to be. Amanda says, Ferd, hamburger upper hand. Linda Davis is here. Hi, Linda. The amazing forerunner of the show. Nice to see you. Good evening, all, she says. I wasn't sure this was going to work. I'm actually kind of relieved. I can build around this. I can make this function. If it'll keep going without clipping and cutting out, we're in good shape. Don't you want to talk about something political? If so, pour yourself up a nice hot cup of coffee like I have here and join me for a good conversation. Or a bad one. A bad one will work too. Thank you for the coffee. I appreciate that very much. If you don't have coffee or a cup or a life or a kitchen or anything, you're on your own. I don't have anything set up. I can't offer you anything. Sorry. Like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available in the chat box. Help me get a new computer over there. Hit that like button, subscribe, share, support, join, super chat. I think I said that already. PayPal.me/JakeJohnsonBand, or if you're a CashApp user, $ Jake Johnson Band. I appreciate it. And if you want to go find out what we're up to over there when we're not over here, you can do that at Facebook.com/UntetheredLive chilling. The link is right there in the chat. It's a great place to hang out, share pictures, text videos, and get to know one another. There are videos updated regularly over there that are free and entertaining. And there's a private chat where you can communicate amongst yourselves and keep up with all things Untethered Live right there in one spot. So go check it out. I'll see you there. Moving on. Kevin says, hello, Linda. Amanda says,
hamburger, help her hand, Linda.
There she is.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Untethered Live.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm glad you can make it audibly.
Yes.
Kevin says, hello, Ferd. Walt Davis is here, my brother. What's up? How are you? Nice to see you.
No, Walter, you're not blocked. You are on the wrong podcast.
Yeah, never block. I would never block a fellow traveler. I only block trolls, and I don't even do that.
Oh, no, Linda. That's some good coffee there, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, Walter says, good evening, all. Whose coffee's good?
Hamburger, help her hand, Walter. Linda says, electricity is out in my town. I had to break out the stovetop percolator.
Oh, the percolator. My sister does that. She loves it. She swears by it. I like it too, but it gets grounds in my teeth. But there is a way around that. You can put a filter in a percolator.
Yeah, well, Missy uses the Keurig now.
Well, I know that, but she loves the percolator. She's got one at her shop. She's got a big one, like the kind you make tea out of usually.
Uh-huh.
Hers is for making coffee, but it's a big one. She'll make a pot of coffee last 4 days. Had to get the electricity out in my town. Had to break out the percolator. Got it. Debbie says the reflecting pool being sabotaged is disturbing. And now there are people mad at the algae that is being treated by, can we not have nice things without drama? No, we cannot. Listen, there was a guy jumped into the brand new $14 million clean reflecting pool with his nasty ass and proceeded to, with a pocket knife, cut out a section of the sealant and rip it out. Why? Because he doesn't like Trump. Does that sound logical to anybody? Why would a normal human being do something like that? The reflecting pool is no reflection of Donald Trump. It's just a pool. The only way it is a reflection of him is if he's standing over it in the sunlight. Ridiculous. People are retarded. Yes, I'm talking to you, liberals. You're retarded. With a capital.
Democrats.
Democrats. That's exactly what they are. Now listen, it's a nice pool. It's a nice city if it's cleaned up and people act like normal people. We want to project to the rest of the world that we got something, that we got some money. We're not poor. We don't live in a trailer park. It's a nice pool. Leave it the hell alone. What is the matter with you people? We have a democratic system. Vote if you don't like the guy. And don't cheat. That's your problem. You cheated and you still lost. and you don't know what to do with yourself. That's the problem. I got news for you, though. You're still going to lose again.
Go Vance.
Amen. Kevin Bernard says, I just learned that they didn't want to use any chemicals in the reflecting pool because of all the animal life that uses it. Exactly. They did a good job. Yes, there's algae in a pool. Let's analyze this situation.
Especially one that's not filtered.
We have a pool that has water in it outside. And somebody noticed that there's algae in the water that is in the pool that is outside that has no chemicals in it.
That's not running through a filter.
Isn't that where algae goes?
Right.
What the hell are you? You know, there's a guy just got sentenced for 35 years of murder. You're not covering that, right? There's actual election fraud happening in California. You're not covering that, right? What about Nick Shirley and everything he's uncovered? Not covering that? What about all of the things that are happening in the world? There's peace about to happen in the Middle East. You're not covering that. But you're covering with certainty that there's algae in a swimming pool. Am I the only person that's bothered by that? CNN, you have lost your damn rabbit-ass mind. Kevin says, there's that pretty voice. Hey, now, quit flirting with my woman. Sorry, you can flirt with her. Kevin says, hello, Walter. Walter Davis says, Linda, did you fire up the generator? And Linda says, no, not yet. They say it should be on by midnight. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of sitting in the dark. I've done it before.
She don't need a refrigerator. Candlelight's more peaceful.
That's right. Linda says, Tommy is on vacation in Texas, Walter. I don't know who any of those people are. Maureen says, these people are delusional and entitled. I agree. And not only that, they're literally looking for things that exist to complain about. Every swimming pool has algae in it. Every single one of them. All of them. Even the ones that have filtration systems. They just hide it better. But it's there, I promise. That's what happens in water that's outside. I got a bucket outside my yard right now. Got water in it. Guess what else is in it? Algae. CNN is not here reporting on my bucket. They should be, if it's that damn important. 60 Minutes. Did you see? Well, I forget the guy's name that hosted 60 Minutes. Did you see his reaction? I don't know if he hosted, but he worked at 60 Minutes. Anyway, what an entitled retard. They are really showing their colors.
They could if they wanted to run a filter through it, they could, but they could put baking soda in it to treat it. But that's about all that they could put in it and not hurt the animals.
Yeah. Kevin says there are local animals that drink and swim in the pool. Pool chemicals would harm the animals. To some degree, they might. I don't think chlorine would. It don't harm us very much. You know, we drink it every day. You ever got water out of your tap and it smelled kind of bleachy? It's because it's got chlorine in it.
Yeah, they could do that too, but they're probably, I mean, they could use a little bit of chlorine, but they'd probably be better off just using baking soda.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure there are natural things that do that. Yes. I mean, all they got to do is move the water, and they got a filter system. So as long as the water is gently moving, it won't algae up. Not too bad. Judy says, hi, everyone. Hi, Judy. Thank you for the compliment of the song. I trust you understood what was happening there. Maureen says, I got to go lay down. Back has been acting up all day. God bless you all. Stay safe. Well, you just got here, Maureen. You can't lay down and look at your phone. You don't have to leave just because you're laying down. Come on, I'll lay down with you. Kevin says, it's not flirting, that's a compliment. I know, I'm just teasing you. I'm not insecure.
Hamburger helper hand, Judy.
And she deserves her compliments. Maureen says, hi, Judy. Linda says, Tommy is my go-to son. Oh, I got you. He comes and takes care of things for me. I don't call him daddy, but he takes care of things. Would you be better off on Sunday? Can I bring you anything?
Feel better, Maureen.
Judy says, hey, Jake and Amanda. Hi, Judy. Kevin says, hello, Judy. Hello, Judy. And Judy says, hey, Maureen. This chat is very sensitive. I can't scroll like I could before. Every time I hit the wheel on my mouse, it jumps like 4 pages. So I'm scrolling back and forth to find out where I'm at.
Don't use your wheel. Use your scroller on the side of the chat.
I may have to.
That's what I have to do with mine because it jumps too bad if I don't.
Yeah, that's what this is doing. Jumping. I don't have a thing on the side. Oh, I see what you're talking about. The little clicky thing.
The little bar.
We'll be forever clicking it.
No, just roll the bar with your click on them, hold it down and roll it up and down.
Yeah. That's about as jumpy.
Well, then that's your computer.
I mean, it's working.
Yeah,
I'm
right?
not complaining. Maureen says, thanks, Amanda Banhammer. And Linda says, hi, Judy. Did I say Kevin already said hello, Judy? Judy says, hey, Linda. And Judy says, bye, Maureen. Hi, Maureen. Bye, Maureen. Chew your gum. That's good coffee. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, now. Debbie says, I don't follow the UFC, but the celebrations around the fights was pretty cool. And they are upset about that too. Oh, you bet. You better believe they are. Like Transformers showing boobs around kids was much more dignified. Right. Yeah, just go back and look at anything Joe Biden and his family did at the White House, or all the way back to Barack Obama shining the rainbow up onto the White House. No.
Well, Biden had rainbow colors put on the columns of the front of the White House.
I think they had the drag queen story hour at the White House.
Mm.
And they had a bunch of drag queens out front, and they were all getting inappropriate. Yeah, well, it wasn't good. The UFC was awesome. It was a hell of a success, and it made a lot of money. And about 100,000 people showed up. So that's a win all the way around. Donald Trump did a good thing, and it made the country look good. That's why they're angry about it. It's also a little known fact for anybody that happens to like fights. The only fight in UFC history, in fact, in the world, where every fight ended in a knockout, every single one. That's never happened before. It happened then. Sign? Probably not. Probably just excited people punching each other out, but it's cool. We made records. Broke records, rather. Walter says it reflects the Lincoln Memorial. Yeah, the guy that freed the slaves, right? Walter, yeah, they want nothing more than everything to turn to crap and look horrible in Washington. That's what they want. And when somebody tries to make it look good, they complain. They're whining because Donald Trump initially bid $1.4 million to clean it up, and it ended up costing $14 million. So they did a lot of stuff to that pool. $14 million with an M. And they're really complaining about that. Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, put a clip out today complaining about it and saying, no, that's not your money to spend, and that's not your house. You can't just do whatever you want to with it. Hunter Biden, how much money did your dad send to the Ukraine? I think that number had a B at the end, not an M, which is a lot more. And what did we get out of that deal? Nothing. He only spent $14 million, which sounds like a lot of money because it is a lot of money, but not in the grand scheme of spending money. And we got a nice pool out of it that looks way better than it did before. And that's good for the country. It will attract visitors. It will attract interest. People will take pictures. It reflects strength and honor in our country. And that's what we want, is it not? So liberals, quit going retarded and enjoy the pool. Maybe picnic. Have you thought about that? Maybe enjoy life a little. Judy says, that's Amanda told me what was going on. Oh, for the song. Yep. Amanda did tell you what was going on, and she did a good job. Unfortunately, I can't sing anymore. My voice is gone. It's a casualty of COVID-19, and I don't see it ever coming back. But I figured out a way around it. I have taught an AI program to copy my voice by using recordings of my voice from before and piecing together an amalgamation of what my voice sounds like. Now, they got the accent wrong. It's just the wrong accent, but it's very close to the way I sound. Very close. I mean, I had to listen really closely. Now, when we first heard it, we were both kind of amazed, Wow, that's very close. I'm happy with that. So, it is me playing. I did write the song. I did arrange the song. I am on the album, on the song, playing music. And that is my voice. It just didn't come out of my mouth. So, that's as close as I can get. I'm happy with it. At least I'll be able to finish my work. Maureen says they can add a plant-based filter system. Yes, they could. That's a good idea, actually. They could build like what do you call it? A terrarium? What is that? Like a greenhouse, but with a false bottom. The plants can grow through the bottom and the roots can go down into the water.
Well, he don't have to do that. Didn't it line with plants?
I don't think so. I think there's a sidewalk on both sides.
Oh, I thought I seen a bunch of plants around it. He could run the filter system right through them plants, put gravel and stuff in there and charcoal, and run it right through them plants. Water the plants and clean the pool at the same time.
I was thinking about like a bridge that goes across it that's motorized that can go up and down the length of it, and having the filtration system on that. And inside of it have like a greenhouse where all kinds of exotic plants are growing that you can look at, and just have it trug back and forth through the pool throughout the year. Maybe spend a week here and move forward, spend a week in the middle, move forward, that sort of thing. It could clean the water and be something nice to look at.
Yeah, they could put a little hole in the ground somewhere at the end of it and run a pipe the length of the pool on the bottom, and it would do the same thing and not cost billions of dollars to do.
Kevin says oxygenating water is not letting it stagnate. Oxygenating water and not letting it be stagnant does a lot, right? They also have UV filtration too before the filters. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, if you just move water, it helps. It makes it so that the water doesn't get stagnant, and it makes it so the algae doesn't accumulate. It's still in there, but it's moving, so it doesn't stay and stick and start growing. So if they just put like a gentle wave in it, that would make a big difference. Judy says, hey, Kevin. Big John Nugget says, good evening, everyone. How you doing? How you all doing? Hey, Big John, nice to see you. We're just chit-chatting. I'm going to try to play that song here in a minute and see if you guys can hear it. Kevin says, UV lights bombard the water in a pipe. That's not a bad idea.
Hamburger helper hand nugget.
Hang on, my chat jumped.
8:47.
Thank you. Linda Davis says, hi, Nugget. Kevin says, hello, John. Judy says, hey, Nugget. Maureen says, like, share, and invite family and friends. It helps the demographics for the show. Thank you, Maureen. And so true. We need all the people to come here. Everybody get together and hold hands. We are the world. We are the children. Come on. Fee, Jake. Big John says, your chat's going to jump and leave you screwed up. I know where it's at, though. There it is. Big John says, well done to the USA beating Australia 2-0 in football. Football is the ball you play with your feet. Unlike American football, that's the one you throw the pigskin. But football is the little ball that you kick around. And some people call it soccer, but it's not. It's football. But thank you, Big John. Debbie says, I don't know about peace in the Middle East, except for I doubt it happens in my lifetime. And I think a peace treaty is not actual peace, but contained controversy. Well, you're not wrong. And also, even if they sign a peace deal, in a week they're going to blow something up and completely scrap that whole thing. You cannot have peace in the Middle East. They are square pegs, and we are round holes, and a square peg does not go in a round hole. There is no way to solve the problem because the problem supersedes us. It's been going on for over 2,000 years. It is not going to change. But, and it's a big but, we may be able to wrangle it into where people stop reporting about it on the news so much and we can get on with our lives with lower gas prices. That's what we're shooting for. As far as peace in the Middle East, no, that's not actually going to happen. It never has and it never will. But we may be able to get along while we hate each other. Kevin says, Jake, Amanda posted your new song. Very good. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I wrote that song about 2 years ago. About 4 years ago. Walter Davis says, FYI, the reflecting pool is in the middle of Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Aside from birds, there is no wildlife. I think there is.
Birds are wildlife.
Unless you count the drug addicts as wildlife. Well, that too. You got to have drug addict conservation. They have an atrium and everything. They perch up there on the seal and wait for needles to get dropped in their mouth. It's very cute. Patty Donahue's here. She says, hello, children. Hi, Patty. Nice to see you. How are you?
Hamburger helper hand, Patty.
Hamburger helper hand.
Well, birds are wildlife.
They are, in fact, wildlife.
Last time I checked, anyway.
Hunter is a douche, says Judy. You're not wrong. And he looks like one, too. And I'm pretty sure he slept with his cousin.
No worse than Biden showering with his daughter and whatever else he did with her.
Yeah. Debbie says the UFC paid for that event, and they're paying to restore the lawn, but the Democrats still complain. Oh, yeah. They can't possibly enjoy that it was a success and that everybody loved it. And everybody had a great time. and what's his name? Something White.
Dana
White. He's a great dude. I mean, he's all about loving the country and doing good for America. And, you know, it's in his interest for us to project strength, and he wants to be friends with the president. He's a great guy, and he's a great businessman. I say let him cook, baby. They can't do nothing but make us better. And also, what great foreign policy. All we got to do is send our enemies a tape of the UFC happening on the front lawn of the White House. This is what we get up to. You sure you want to scrap?
Right.
Right?
FAFO.
Right? This is America. You sure you want to fight? This is what we do for fun. We knock each other out.
This is our birthday parties.
Right. Kevin says, name one thing Trump has done that the Democrats did not complain about. Oh, wait. Can't be done.
You know, Trump could come up with a free cure for cancer.
Yeah.
And the Democrats would bitch about it.
Democrats would be mad that he allowed liver disease to continue.
Right.
If he cured cancer, that's what they would say. Trump allows liver disease to rampant.
Right.
Run rampant.
Democrats at their finest.
I like that. Good coining of a phrase there. From now on, we're calling them Democrats. Debbie says the Democrats are just mad that there were no Transformers showing their boobies.
Right.
Yeah. And also that one guy hollering that Michelle Obama's a dude.
That was hilarious.
I just can't help myself, he said. Fab Daddy, what's up, brother? Fab Daddy says, one good thing Trump did. UFC at the White House. Next.
Reflecting poll. Next.
The reflecting poll. 10,000 things that would take all night to list, but you can go see for yourself. Was show how corrupt. Sorry, that was a compliment. One good thing Trump did was show how corrupt the DOJ can be manipulated. True. And everybody else too. Here's a news flash. All of DC is corrupt. All of it. Good and bad. Both sides. They're all obedient to the highest bidder. Every one of them are on the take. The only person in the world currently that is not for sale in politics is Donald Trump, and even he has a price. Come on now.
Hamburger helper ham, Fab.
Hang on.
8:54.
Thank you. This thing does not want to cooperate with me. Walter Davis says it was Trump's money to spend, and he put in a bowling alley.
No.
No, Trump didn't do a bowling alley. Somebody did, and I think it was who was it? It might have been Reagan. I don't think it was Reagan though.
No.
It wasn't Trump.
No, because what's this? Obama put in a basketball court or a tennis court.
Somebody put in a bowling alley. It might have been Carter.
Hold on. Yeah, it might have been. Hold on.
Carter also put solar panels up on top, and the next president took them down, so they never got used. But I don't think Trump put a bowling alley in the White House. That's not one I've heard. Judy says, hey, Fab. Shadow V2X says, what's your opinion on the UFC being at the White House lawn? I think it's awesome. Why wouldn't I?
Truman.
Okay.
And then Nixon.
Maybe he did write Truman, and I just mispronounced it.
It does say Trumas.
Okay. I just assumed that was Trump. My apologies.
Yeah. Truman did it in 1947, and Nixon did it in the 1970s.
Shadow, we had an excellent event to celebrate America's 250th year anniversary on the White House lawn. It was paid for, cleaned up, and reimbursed by UFC and Dana White. It was a great event. Over 100,000 people showed up. Every fight ended in a knockout. It was a great success for Trump and all of his friends. Why wouldn't I enjoy that happened? Why would I care? At least it wasn't Drag Queen Story Hour on the front lawn.
All right. A bunch of rainbows everywhere.
Fab Daddy says, I listened to the song on Facebook. It's a close AI match to my voice. It is pretty close. It's as close as I could get anyway. Technically, that is my voice. Just AI is doing the mouthing for me. But what I did was feed it a bunch of songs that I sang back when I could sing, and it made an amalgamation and created a model for my voice. And that's very close. It's got the wrong accent, but it's the right timbre, and I can live with that. And I can finish my music before I die, which is what I want. So very soon there will be an album. I've already got 6 out of the 10 songs ready to go. And so, or 6 out of the 12 songs ready to go. I think I'm going to do 12. But thank you for the compliment, and I hope you enjoyed the song. Fab Daddy says, hey, Judy. Walter says, wasn't Lincoln's money to spend, but he renovated the White House, hence the name. Lincoln bedrooms, right? Trump is building a ballroom out of pocket. No cost to the taxpayer, correct? Yes, and basically it's a shed that's sitting on top of a multi-billion-dollar government installation, because you better believe that there's a facility built underneath it that does something. Nobody knows what it's for, top secret stuff. And the ballroom sits on top of it. So it serves 2 purposes. It gives us a place to meet that is nice, that we can be excited to bring guests to. And it's a cover for a government facility that will work in our benefit, hopefully. And he's doing it out of pocket, which is great. And the Democrats hate it, which is even better. I like it when they hate stuff. Lets me know we're winning. Kevin says, Fab Daddy, I would have to agree with you. Changing misdemeanors into felonies just to charge Trump while extending ignoring the statutes and limitations is a prime example. Both were undone after. Amen. Yeah, that was a thing that the DOJ tried to get away with. They tried to charge felonies to Trump that were not felonies. They changed the law for 1 sentence, and then they changed it back after they sentenced him so that they couldn't get caught up in it, because everybody does it. Kevin says Trump was charged, right? He was charged but not convicted. And a lot of people like to throw that at you. Well, what about Trump and his 34 felonies? Well, they're not felonies to start with, because that's not a felony. And also, he never got convicted of those felonies. So they dropped the case. It did not continue. He's not going to prison. He's not paying a fine. It's over. So he is not a felon. But they love to say it. Amanda?
I don't know where I'm at.
I don't know where you are either. You're in the bedroom. You're in the sound booth.
Yeah, I don't.
In Studio C. Coolidge, ? Says Walter. Was he the one who put in the pool? I don't remember who did the pool. You talking about the reflecting pool? I'm not sure who built that.
No, there was no original single president that put it in. It was
well, I mean, somebody designed that whole complex.
It was designed by an architect named Henry Bacon.
There you go.
In 1922 and 1923, during President Harding's administration.
Big John Nugget says, there's no peace in the Middle East. Lebanon is firing on Israel. Like I said, even if they sign a peace treaty, within a week, they're going to blow something up. That's just the nature of those people. You can't change a leopard's spots. Can't do it. Not going to be prudent. Kevin says, hello, Patty. Hello, Patty. Debbie says, has people here seen all the videos from foreigners?
Talking about their preconceived notions about the USA was all lies.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. What are we talking about now?
The foreigners talking about USA being all lies.
Oh, which foreigners?
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Tell us about it, Debbie. Sorry, my chat jumped while I was reading that. About their preconceived notions about the USA was all lies. Well, just about everything foreigners say about the USA is lies or misinformed. Walter Davis says, well, Israel is not party to the U.S.-Iran peace deal. That's true. Hezbollah in Lebanon and controlled by Iran. And Iran will not exist when this war is over. I don't doubt that at all. I think it's a very good possibility that we mop the floor with Iran. Iran has been around longer than America and Britain. That's true, Big John. And so is the war in the Middle East, says Kevin. That's true, too. That war has been going on for about 2,500 years now. It started in the book of Nehemiah in the Bible. If you want to go read about it, that's when it started. Just read the book of Nehemiah and understand that those two guys, the main characters in that story, are the ones who started this fight. And they were in the right, Israel was, in that fight. So it ain't going to stop anytime soon. And Judy says, right, Kevin. Amber says, good evening, friends. Hey, Amber. Hearts and American flags and big UFC banners. Judy says, hey, Amber. How's the video? Is everybody seeing everything and hearing everything okay? Nothing glitching or freezing up?
No, it's fine.
I guess I just can't have any control over the video, but at least we can get it done. And I don't have to sit there looking into my phone. I'll do something about this background for tomorrow night. Make it a little cleaner. 9 likes and 12 watching. Who forgot, says Amber. Hit that like button, everybody, real quick before Amber gets you. She's looking. Thank you, Amber. Amber says, Judy, big dog, hearts and diamonds. And Judy says, me, Amber, I forgot. Hit that like button, Judy. Big John says, Walter, Iraq still standing and Afghanistan still standing after the British and America went in. Well, we weren't trying to destroy them, actually. And, you know, somebody other than Donald Trump was driving that time. I'm not sure he'll be as light-handed. He might just drop a bunch of Moabs on them, which would not be pretty. A couple of fat boys, a couple of little men. You, Hiroshima, me, Nagasaki, you also.
Hamburger, Halber, hand, Amber. Blah.
Blah. Amber says, LOL, Judy. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. It's a knick-knack, Patty Black. Give the frog alone. Judy says, it says I'm 8. It says you're Judy in my place where I'm looking. What are you reading? Amber says 10 something. Hang on.
10,
13, and now 3 more forgot. Hey, it happens. I'm glad you can see that because I can't see who's here. Yeah, I can. I can see 9 and 10. I got it. Okay. I Facebook shared. Hopefully a few more visits, says Amber. Thank you, Amber. Appreciate you. Linda says, hi, Miss Amber. Amber says, Linda, smiley face and hearts. Big John says video is crusty. Sorry. It's better than what I had before going on for sure.
I'm not having any problem with it. And I've got 5 devices going. So
Anybody else having any issues with the video or audio? This is brand new what I'm doing here. I'm going straight through Facebook. I mean, straight through YouTube. I'm not using any encoders. This is just my webcam and this microphone going straight in. So if it works, it's all on them. And I'll do it again. Amber says, Nuggy, smiley faces and hearts. Debbie says, the FIFA or FIFA World Cup being played in areas around the Southern California, 78 or so games, different venues, is bringing people from all over the world to America. There are lots of videos from that. That's cool. The whole World Cup. Apparently, we're winning too. Big John says, Amber Heart. Amber says, I also forgot to check all messages and make sure you're on all messages. Debbie says, foreigners visiting several states and having a great time. Amen. There's great times to be had. With them shocked. America is nothing like they expected. I've seen a couple of those videos where a couple of English kids come and tour through Texas or whatever, and they're blown away by things like Buc-ee's and Waffle House and things like that. They can't believe it exists. That's pretty sweet. We do have some good qualities about our country. Audio has a click. I'm sorry. You might be hearing me breathe.
Yeah. No, I think that's just because you don't have your noise suppressor on.
Yeah, I don't have any kind of bells and whistles. I have no noise suppression, no EQ, no enhanced audio filters of any kind. And if you're hearing a tick, I don't know what it would be. It could be anything. Might be that bug over there.
It's like a little bit of static when you first start talking.
Oh, maybe it's clipping.
It's not.
Check.
No, it's not clipping. Yeah. I had to put my earbud in to find out what they were talking about.
I don't know what it could be. Is it annoying?
It's just a little static at the beginning of the sentence.
Check. Is it still there?
Talk again?
Judy says mine is popping like too much gain. Yeah, it might be clipping a little bit. I'll have to play with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not major, though. It's a little bit.
Yeah. How's that? Is that any better? I'll try to come away from the microphone a little bit. I tend to get loud anyway. Judy says mine's popping. I'm trying to fix it. Thank you, Fab Daddy, for letting me know what's up.
Better.
Thank you, Fab Daddy, for letting me know what's up. Amber says, Fab, just say thank you. At least we get together for the evening. Right on. Hey, he's helping me out, Amber. I did ask. Big John says, message retracted. I can't read it if you retract it. Fab Daddy says, he asked, Amber. I'm just informing. That's right. We're rough riding tonight, says Amber. That's right. Just making do. Linda says, Debbie. Hang on. Come on now. Oh, cushy means very good. Okay. Well, stop using strange words. I don't know what you mean by that. Cushy, crusty. How do you say that? Cushy? It's cushy. It's Barney Rubble. It's Barney Rubble, eh? Linda says, Debbie, I heard it through the grapevine. Oh, sorry. I heard they're all trying to bring ranch dressing dip back with them. I don't know if that's true, but it's funny. Have bottles of ranch dressing tucked away on the plane. Thank you, Big John. Fab Daddy says I hear it with Amanda's voice too. Yeah, it's coming. I'm sure I'm clipping. It's because this is a raw audio feed that's going straight through YouTube, but not through an encoder first, which is there to do all the EQing and all that. So I'm gonna have to figure that out and pull back the volume a little bit. I don't want to mess with it on the computer because it's working and I don't want to screw anything up. So I don't want to go clicking things and trying to make things work.
Yeah, it's working and it's working all the way. So
Right. And I'll just let it work and I'll fix it tonight. But knowing that it's an issue helps because then I know how to fix it. I know what to fix. Kevin says slightly scratchy, but clear enough to understand every word. Thank you, Kevin.
All right, nothing like it was the other night when you couldn't hear nothing.
Right. And clipping and freezing. Whew. It's tough out here for a pimp. Debbie says, I heard that too, Linda. The great ranch heist of 2026. There will be movies made about it.
In a book.
I'm all for it. I think that's great. Amber says, what did they expect, Debbie? I enjoy hearing what others think about America. Me too. Unless they're haters, and then I don't want to hear their little mouths. Walter Davis says, swimming pool, movie stars, black gold, Texas tea. Where's Aaron at tonight? I don't know what made me
He
think
had to work today.
Come out of lurker mode, Aaron, and say hello. Debbie says, Amber, a lot of the videos are of them saying Americans are so nice and polite, and the country is beautiful and so big. And they thought we were all like gang wars in the streets. Yeah. That's because what they hear about us comes from CNN and NBC and BBC and the BBC. You're watching the BBC, which we all know is state-sponsored lies. So they don't get a very accurate depiction of what America is.
What's that other one? Oh, Associated Press.
Associated Press. Yeah, AP. Amber says, oh my gosh. Smiley, smiley.
Sesame Street and shaking my head.
Amber says Sesame Street, shaking my head. What are you shaking your head about? Exactly. Sesame Street?
What?
Who brought up Sesame Street?
Amber did. Talking about gang wars in the street.
Oh. Sesame Street gang wars. The Muppets against the animators? I don't know how that would play out.
Cookie Monster and Oscar.
Yeah. Snuffleupagus is getting it.
Right.
Linda says, I heard the Scots drank Boston Dry. I heard that too. They know where to find any alcohol. That's hilarious. Oh, you think they have some beer around here? Some ale? Some ale for my belly? No. All we got's coffee. Debbie says, I heard that too, Linda. Apparently that's getting around because I heard it too. And I worked all day today, so it had to be getting around. All right, I'm going to try to play this song. Let me see if you guys can hear this, if it's going to come through audio, and see if you can tell if it's coming through the audio or if it's coming through my microphone, because I don't want that. I want it to come through the system. So let me play a little clip of this song and see if you guys can hear it. All right, hang on just a second. All right.
It's coming through right.
All right. Can you hear that?
No,
You cannot hear that.
no, they can't hear it.
Damn. Now I got to figure out how to make that work. I'm not going to deal with it tonight.
It's
though.
coming through our headphones.
Yeah. That's because you could hear it through this microphone coming from my headphones. I wanted it to come through the system so that it would play through their speakers, but it's not going to work. So I got to figure out how to send it through the audio system here to make that work. Let me see. One thing I could look at real quick. What do we have here? Sound settings. Give me just a second. I'm playing with stuff. Output profile. Output. Input.
That got a bunch of background noise.
What are you talking about?
Whatever it was you did a minute ago.
I just clicked. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try something else out now. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Did you hear it through the speakers or through my microphone?
I heard it in both ears. So, I mean, I heard it through the headphones and I heard it through live.
Let me try this song again then.
No. It's coming through your microphone.
But not coming through the system.
Right.
I wonder why. That doesn't make any sense. There it is. Okay, I'll figure it out later. I just thought it might be simple. Might be a simple fix, but it wasn't. Okay. All right, let's see where we're at in here. Anyway, you guys can go to facebook.com/UntetheredLive chillin', and there's a link for my new song pinned at the top there. So go check it out. Go give it a listen. See what you think about it. And if you're here while you're listening to it, tell me what you think about it. It is a song I wrote and performed and recorded, but the version you're hearing from there is AI because I can't sing anymore. Walter Davis says Scots drink gin. Oh, they drink gin, do they? They drink whiskey too. Big John says the English and the Scots love America. It's the media have got it so wrong. I agree, 100%. 100%. The media is not our friends. They are our enemies. For whatever reason. Are you playing the sound of silence? I'm not. I was playing Just Set Me Free. It just didn't come through the speakers, so you can't hear it. But you heard it already. You went over to Facebook and listened to it. Or are you saying you couldn't hear it because I'm playing the sound of silence? Ah, clever. I see what you did there. Debbie says, I don't hear it. I'm sorry. I couldn't figure out how to make it play. Big John says, Walter, that's wrong. Beer or whiskey or iron bread? Iron brew. Iron brew? What is iron brew? Is that like beer that's good for your liver?
Iron brew. That would be like a ale, would
Ale? Like a logger?
Right. Like Yingling or something.
Yingling. Yeah.
Amber
Linda
Fox.
says Samuel Adams, too. Don't get Samuel Adams. Now, Walter, I guess they were willing to drink anything, right? If you're in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Right.
If you're in Boston, you drink what's available. Are you a wee lad? A wee peeper? You're a wee peeper. Kevin says, just joking. I know. I'm just following along. Trying to be humorous in a time of angst. Here's a bunch of hearts. Amber says, LOL, Kevin. And Linda says, yes. Big John Nugget says, Scotch don't drink gin. They drink rummy. And Kevin says, we hear Jake and Amanda. Excellent. That's good enough. Debbie says, in one video, the guy looked like he was gonna shoot a load. Really? Was he jerking it that hard? Eating biscuits and gravy. You mean he was excited about eating biscuits and gravy and he looked like he was getting ready to have an orgasm? I see. Yeah, that would be weird. And also, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the biscuits and gravy and the orgasm, and that might get messy.
Ew.
I think I missed.
Nasty.
Linda says, we can hear it. Just barely. Amber says, Fab, ask us a question. You're awesome with those. You're such a strange person. Debbie says, I heard that song just then. Thank you. You heard it through the microphone, not through the speakers, though. Not like audio. You were hearing a copy of it. I wanted you to hear the actual song. Like I wanted it to play through the system, not through the being heard from the microphone. That make any sense? Fab Daddy says, longest day of the year or shortest day? Which do you prefer? Solstice. I would have to go with shortest day. Less work. Big John says, iron brew is a fizzy drink. I bet it is. It's got iron in it. This iron is good for the belly. Make you play the bagpipes, yo. But out the wrong end. Ha! Who is the wee peeper? Says Debbie. Who is the wee peeper? I don't know who the wee peeper is, but it's probably Fab. He sounds like a right wee peeper. Kevin says, y'all want to hear that song? Go to Just Us on Facebook. Just Us? Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, Kevin.
Well, I tried to get the link and bring it over, but I can't. The link's too long to post in the chat under one thing.
Really? That's weird. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, let me try it a different way.
I don't even know how to get to it.
I got it. I just, it's too long.
Pow. Take back the heartache. I wish I could still sing. I really do. I'd be singing to you guys right now. I think I got it. Oh, Lord. Yes, I know it's an old password. Leave me alone. You're going to have to do it. I can't log in.
There it is.
All right, you got it? Okay. There it is, everybody. I'll pin it to the top for you.
Had to go about it a different route.
As long as you got it, that's all that matters. If that went to Suno, you might be able to get other songs there. I don't know. Don't listen to them, though. They're all in a state of pre-arrangement. They're not finished. Amber says, Kev, if I go to Facebook right now, I'll get lost in the weeds. Well, don't be smoking weed while you're at the Facebook page. It's that simple. Put the pipe down. Debbie says, hey, do these biscuits and gravy taste salty to you? What is that? It's stuck in my teeth. Have you been eating lemons? Salty. Amber says, be right back. Coffee. Oh, no, you're not going to get in the weeds by drinking coffee, but you'll get in the weeds by smoking pot. I see how you are. I think we're at the bottom of the chat.
Yep.
I'll be damned. Yeah. I can't wait. I've got 4 more songs that I want to really work on. I can't wait to get them finished and hear the whole thing in context. It's going to be great. I might do a listening party. We'll just do a live stream and just play the whole album and talk about it. I might do that. If you guys are into it, I mean. If not, we'll do something else. But if I can't take criticism, I shouldn't be in the game. Right? Right. All right. Jake, it's faster to create songs with AI.
Is it faster?
Is it? It can be, yeah. It's a laborious effort to record music, especially if you're doing it by yourself, which I do, which means I play all the instruments and I have to do all the tracks myself and I do all the engineering. And so it takes forever. I mean, I've literally been working on this album for the last 40 years. Since I started, I've been trying to get this thing done. And then AI comes along and I can do it in a week or 2. There are definitely quick ways to get it done, and AI can just generate the whole thing for you and you don't even have to think, right? It'll just give you what it thinks you want. And you can program it to do whatever you want. So there's definitely quick and easy and cheating ways to do it. I'm not doing it that way. I want you to be aware of this. When you hear a song that I release, it's me. I arranged it. I played it. I sang it before. It is my song. I wrote it, right? That means that I input on every instrument you hear. If I don't play it out right myself, I tell the computer exactly what to play and where to play it. Because I don't want AI to be my music. I want my music to be done by AI. So I'm using AI as a tool rather than a crutch, which is a little longer. It takes a little bit longer to do. But yes, overall, it's much, much, much faster and cleaner. And the end result is a finished product that is masterfully done. I couldn't do better in a studio when it's done. So I hope that answers your question. Linda says, that would be nice, Jake. The listening party? Yeah, I think it would be too. Thank you. We'll do it. I'll make sure it's done. Big John says it looks like they're going to be a leadership contest to get Keir Starmer out. And there's loads of his own party want him gone. Yeah, he's been a bad leader for sure. I hope you guys can get somebody worthy of having. Somebody to lead your country in a good way. And you guys can get some benefits from that. Because if it's anything like America, we are flat tired of being taken advantage of, and we'd like to get back to prospering. Know what I mean, Vern? What do you think, Amanda? You've been awful quiet. Say something, damn it.
Something, damn it.
Thank you. So, of the songs you've heard, which one do you like the most so far?
Not Elizabeth excluded.
Yeah, don't. Other than Elizabeth, we all know you like Elizabeth. Of the new songs you've heard, which do you like the most?
Probably need to do that after you've played them all back.
Yeah, I
back
probably
back.
do because they probably don't even know what the titles are.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do a listening party and then talk about each one and see what you think about it and what I need to improve upon.
And there's probably only a few people that heard all of them.
Right on. That's like asking which child I love more,
Right.
says Debbie. And Big John says the Labor Party are a two-headed snake. Yeah, ours is too. People like to say Republican or Democrat, and I'm like, no. They're both corrupt. In this country, all of our leaders are on the take. Every one of them. Play it again, Sam, says Monkey Juice. Hey, Monkey Juice, how you doing? Nice to see you. There it is. The link is in the chat, pinned at the top if you want to, or at the bottom if you want to go listen to that song. You're welcome to.
Hamburger helper hand monkey.
Big John says, dang, I was just going to say that. Play it again, Sham. This time put some stank on it. Kevin says, I like Set Me Free. Thank you. I did too. That's a great song. And I wrote that one pretty quickly. I don't remember it being hard to write at all. But it's also coincidentally the longest song I ever wrote because I started it in 1996. I wrote a handful of songs in 96, two of which will be coming out next. So look forward to those. They're ballads and they're more country-ish. One of them is anyway. The other one's kind of progressive ballad type, a little bit old school, but I think you'll like it. But out of that handful of songs that I wrote in 96, one of them was a song that I had the verses for, but no chorus. And I was calling it something else. And it stayed in my book for decades because I could not finish it. I couldn't find the inspiration for it. And it just sat there. And then one day I was like, I'm going to finish that song. And I sat down with it and I wrote it all out. And it turned into something completely different. Like 5 minutes, I wrote a whole nother song. And I retired those lyrics because they're in this song, but it's not what I was going for originally. But that's what the song was. And that's how that works for me sometimes. Vic Delvito's here. What's evening, folks? What's up, Vic? Nice to see you.
Hamburger helper hand, Vic.
Kevin says every part of it sounded really good. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Debbie says my favorite is that one that made me cry. It was so meaningful, but I have no idea the name or the words, but I remember how I felt. That song was called Spirit World.
Yeah, I was just going to say that sounds like Spirit World.
It is. Kevin says, hello, Victor. Monkey Juice says, hello, Amanda. All right. And Vic says, here's a question for you, Jake. If you sin, are you supposed to confess and ask for forgiveness? But you only ask for forgiveness if you are truly sorry. If you are not sorry, should you still ask for forgiveness? All right. If you sin, it's entirely up to you whether or not you want forgiveness. You're not supposed to ask for it. You just have the right to. You shouldn't sin to start with. You should want to live life without sin. If you can, that's the ideal goal anyway. But if you do sin, yeah, if you're sorry for it, you should ask for forgiveness. You shouldn't ask for forgiveness if you're not sorry because that would be a lie. And you can't con God. He's not going to forgive you for something you don't want to be forgiven for. Even if you say the words, if you don't mean it, there's no point in doing it. I mean, you are talking to the supreme being of the universe, not an imaginary friend. So everything has consequences. So if you ask for forgiveness, you should probably want forgiveness. I hope that answers your question. Also, make sure that what you're talking about is actually a sin, because it might not be. You might be falling for some puritanical thinking. Sins are very clearly defined in the Bible, and there's 10 of them that you got to worry about. 11, but you probably wouldn't do the 11th one. Judy says, hey, Vic. And Big John says, in Britain, if you fly your flag, the council are fining you up to 2,000 pounds. Well, that's retarded. Why would they do that? Why would you not be proud of your country? Why would they want you to not be proud of your country? That's weird. We got some weird stuff with our flag, too, here.
No, just because of the month of June, people are taking down the American flag and putting up the gay pride flag.
Yeah, but there's weird feelings about it, too. People think if they see the American flag on a truck or a house that they're racist or something, which makes no sense to me why people think that. It's a totally this generation kind of thing. Vic says, thank you, sir. My pleasure. I hope that answered your question. Sins are real, and if you do them, you should probably want to fix that. If you don't feel like you've sinned, or if you don't feel sorry you wanted to sin, it's your boat. This is your ship. You have free will. That means you can sail it across the 7 seas like God intended, or you can turn and drive that sucker right into the rocks. Either way, God will let you do it. It's your ship. Vic says, which also Men's Mental Health and Cancer Awareness Month. Coincidence? Right on. Men's Mental Health and Cancer Awareness Month. Wow. There's a lot of stuff in 1 month. I prefer to just think of it as June. But you'll have that, though. If there's an empty spot, people are going to try to fill it up with some kind of nonsense. Big John says it's because the Muslims are offended at the trans and the liberals. And the trans and the liberals, right? You talking about the people that get offended for seeing the flags? Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand what that's all about. And I'm an American. I'm proud of my flag. I'm proud of the people who died for that flag and stood up for it and fought for it. And I'm honored that they did that so that I could have a relatively easy life to bitch and complain about everything that the world does. That's why they stood on that principle, and they should be honored for it and exalted. And I don't know why this generation is so against that idea, but they are.
Entitled.
What?
Entitled.
They are entitled. I guess I am too, but I got enough sense to know where I should be honored and who I should appreciate. I mean, people said bad things about my generation when I was coming up. Mostly things like, if you sit too close to the TV, you'll go blind or something like that. But there were things. I don't think if you'd have told me when I was a kid that this is the way the world would be, I probably would have called you a liar. There's no way we would ever go that far down. Boy, was I wrong. But listen, we have a very small but very prominent community right here. And I am so proud of it, of you guys, of this thing that we've worked together to build. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know if it's ever going to grow beyond us. I don't know if it's even worth doing. But it means something to me, and I hope it means something to you. And I hope that you understand how important it is that we all have this very thing. Whether we always agree or not is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Whether we always believe the same thing or not is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. We have each other as friends, and that's important. It's a big thing to have in this world. And I'm so grateful to have met you all and be part of this thing. And I hope that you are too. And Monkey Juice says, so sorry, Big John. Any idea how many liberals died for this country? Probably just as many Republicans. Yep. But I guarantee you, Monkey Juice, I would put money on it that every single liberal that died for this country, if you told them that this is what they were dying for, every single one of them would have wanted their money back. I promise. I give you my word on it. Liberal or Republican does not matter when you're faced against retardation and mental illness. And I'd be willing to bet that the Democrats that I grew up knowing back in the day, they wouldn't have stood for any of this because they were Americans too. There was a time when we were just on opposite sides of political ideas, but we didn't hate each other. And we lived in the same country and we were both Americans.
And didn't stab each other in the back.
Right. That's new. That's only been going on for about 20 years. And it started in 2008. That's when it began. And you can take from that what you want. But that's when it began, and that's where the seeds of it were sown. That's right, Big John. Gen Z should be thanking us and the veterans because we built the world that they live in. And when we're all dead and gone, and they realize that they're now in charge and that they've won the culture war, then the next thought's going to be, oh, how do I keep the lights on? Oh, where do I get food from? Oh, how do I protect myself from that guy who wants what I have? Oh. And there ain't going to be nobody there to answer them. And that's a day I'm going to be happy to see happen. And Monkey Juice says, I agree, 2008. That's correct. That's when it all started. Though from that point forward, Democrats were not the same thing as they were. Debbie says the Democrats of yesteryear are nowhere near close to the Democrats of today. Kennedy Democrats are all gone, right? They're still here, some of them, but they're not in charge anymore, and they're certainly not doing any talking. Except for Bill Maher, he's still out there. I disagree with almost everything that guy says, but I like him. And that's the way it should be. I don't know why we have traded on hate so much, and people seem to be buying it in bucketfuls. I don't understand that mentality. The only thing I can figure is that the phone and the internet and social media has corrupted people's brains to the point where they can no longer think critically longer than 10 seconds. And that's the result of what we have in front of us. That's all I can figure. But how do I know? Yeah, that's right. Big John says a different generation now. They want to destroy everything we built. That's right. They do. But here's the problem with that theory. They don't know how to rebuild anything in its place, and they haven't thought it through. And that's going to be bad when they finally do destroy everything we built, because there will be nothing there to replace it, and they don't know what to do. They don't even know how to feed themselves or protect themselves. It's going to be a massacre. We might see the extinction of the human race looming in the near future. That's possible. It's not likely, but it is possible. Kevin says hate is a way to get the focus off the politicians. It's possible, yeah. Amber says it's easier to hate than to love. I don't know. I don't hate anyone, so I can't really say, but I know it's easier to frown than it is to smile, but maybe it works both ways. I don't know. Monkey Juice says the job of a president is to bring the country together. How's that working out? Pretty good. There's a small group of people with very loud voices that bitch about everything and anything under the sun, and the rest of us are getting along pretty good. The problem is thinking that that small group of people is all the people in the world. It ain't. They're just mouthy. That's all.
They're entitled and they throw hissy fits when they don't get their way.
That's right. But that is not a 1-to-1 ratioed representation of the world that you live in. That is just the people with the microphones.
They're 3-year-olds throwing temper tantrums.
Kevin says, don't look at us. Look at Trump. He's the boogeyman. What? Yeah. See, there's a bunch of children thinking they're in charge right now, Monkey Juice. A bunch of children. And those children are throwing and stomping their feet and whining and complaining and trying to get their way about everything. And those children are going to get their way about everything because the people that are in charge are pussies. But once they have gotten their way about everything, then they're going to realize that they don't know what the hell they're doing. And they're going to starve to death. And then we'll just keep going from that point. So when they've starved to death, then you can say, well, damn, Jake was right. Maybe I should have listened to him a little more often. He seems to know things. Bacon and tomato sandwiches, says Amber. Now I want bacon. Thank you. The timeout generation. Right. That's exactly right. Spank your kids, everybody. They'll love you for it later. If you love your children, just go spank them right now. What are you spanking me for? For what you're going to do later. Kevin says, I always thought the job of the president was to run the federal government. And after Obama, the great divider, I would think Monkey would make that comment. I wouldn't think Monkey would make that comment. Well, Monkey is trying to stir discourse because he buys into that nonsense a little bit more than I do. But I have an answer for every question he has. And I have it on standby and on tap because I'm good like that. Control what you own? I do. Thank you very much. I do control what I own, Monkey Juice. I don't know what you mean by that statement, but I do. And Kevin's right, by the way. It is not the president's job to bring the country together. It's his job to run it efficiently and make sure we make it for 4 years. And that's it. Fab's here.
Monkey says, Trump's watch. The presidency, Congress, Senate, you're in control.
Oh, I see. Trump's watch. Presidency, Congress, Senate, you're in control. That doesn't make any sense. What are you saying exactly? I'm sorry I missed the first comment. But Kevin says, Monkey, do you want to know what brings people together better than anything in the world? A world war. Big John says, this generation wears diapers. They don't want to go to work and want everything for free. Yes. That is a fact. And that's not how you make a country work. That's not how you make dreams come true. That's not how you make a future for yourself. And they will soon find that out because they're going to keep getting older no matter how many times they protest, no matter how many times they show their butts, no matter how many times they get away with things. They're just going to keep getting older and older. And time is going to keep pressing and pressing and pressing. And pretty soon, like that, they're going to be 62, 63 years old, looking down the pipe of death, wondering what went wrong and noticing how much time they wasted when they could have been building. And it'll be too late then. Then you'll have a generation of apathetic old people that cannot take care of themselves without government assistance. And ironically, like a magic 8-ball, they will get exactly what they wanted. Government control over their entire life. in the facility that they've been put into because nobody wants them. You're welcome. Can I get a refill on that coffee, please? It's just too good. Nummy. Monkey Juice says, LOL, Kevin, I'm all about war. Have you been to war there, Monkey Juice? Are you a military guy? Have you seen war? I have not, but I have lived in what I would consider warlike environment. And I can tell you that what I've experienced is too much for the psyche. I couldn't imagine what actual soldiers have to deal with on a daily basis. Kevin says, Monkey, is that what you want? A world war so that you can blame it on Trump? That sounds about right. Linda says, my kids are losing their minds because their phones are dead. Yeah. They don't know how to function without that thing attached to their arm. I remember that my daughter did something one time that was, I considered punishable. And I punished her by taking her phone away from her. And for the first time in my life, I saw my child have a panic attack because I took her phone away. It was like watching a drug addict claw for heroin or something. It scared me, and it made me aware just how serious this thing is, this phone that we have. And from that moment forward, I started pulling them back slowly away from that phone, trying to get them to go outside and do things and touch things and experience things and see things with their eyes. Because I realized that if ever there was child abuse in this world, giving them a phone was it. Thank you. Amanda says, LOL, Linda. And Monkey Juice says, Kevin, Trump started a war and he has no clue how to get out of it. Well, two is spelled T-O. T-O-O is the other two. Like also. Two. So fix that. And Trump did not start this war. I'm sorry. You're wrong. Trump has started no wars. He inherited one. And one has been going on for the last 2,000 years. We're just now hearing about some of it because it involves Israel. But he did not start any of these wars. So you're incorrect about that. Kevin says, Linda, I have a solution for that, but not an immediate one. Yeah. Kevin says, Linda, a lithium jump boss for the car. It can also be used to charge anything with a USB charging wire. A jump bus, I think is what you meant to say, or a jump box. Yeah. Yeah, that will work. Big John says they have started arresting the Free Palestine protesters now in Britain, giving them heavy prison sentences now. Well, good. Those Free Palestine people are crazy because Palestine does not exist. So what they're doing is causing a ruckus over something that doesn't exist. And Kevin says, John, it's about time. Yeah, I wish they would do that here. Judy says, it's about time, Nugget. Monkey Juice says, wow. Yeah, wow. Kevin says, Iran has been at war with us since the religious zealots took over Iran, Monkey. Actually, they've been at war with the world for 2,500 years, off and on. This is a fight that is long outlasts anything that's happened currently. Most people don't know that, though, because they were born in the 2000s era, and they don't know anything beyond that. Once they start learning that the world's been here a little bit longer than they have, and things have happened in it while they weren't here, then they start to understand, maybe, that there are issues that go way back into history that you don't know anything about. So the idea that you could cause or stop this battle are actually quite silly. You don't even know what they're fighting over. You don't know what the problem is, so you can't solve it. And you don't know how long they've been doing it, so you can't stop it. And you certainly haven't started it. You might have heated up one little element of it, but that's it. F Israel. Now, why you got to say that? Have you ever been to Israel, Monkey Juice? Do you know anything about Israel? I don't think you do. Kevin says the jump box stores enough power to charge more phones than you can count. Right on. Linda says we all have those portable chargers, but they don't think they have theirs charged. Yep. They don't work if they're dead. And Kevin says, Monkey, you rooting for the Death to America clan? Sounds like it, doesn't it? I'm Team America, by the way, just in case anybody's wondering. Kevin says, Linda, once they are charged, they hold their charge for a really, really long time. A long time. Monkey Juice says, okay, let's get Bib. You mean BB? Let's get BB. You don't know who BB is, do you?
Biblical?
Or biblical. I don't know what you mean by that. Linda says, yep, Kevin, tell that to 2 teenage boys. Kevin says, Monkey is just part of the I'll say anything as long as it's against Trump club. Yeah. Yes, it's true. Big John Nugget says it's all these universities spreading propaganda. Yes, it is. We should stop calling them universities. They haven't been universities for a long time. What they are is propaganda mills and indoctrination camps. That's what we should call them. Oh, let's get biblical. Okay. Anytime. I got it right here. But why would you feel the need to get biblical when we're talking about a war in America? I mean, in Israel, Iran, and all that. Well, it was recorded in the Bible. They recorded the beginning of that skirmish in the Bible. Oddly enough, it was over a wall. Huh? Isn't that funny? One group wanted to build a wall and the other group wanted to tear it down because it denied them access to the free stuff, because they wanted to just move in and take advantage. But the other people already had a claim to the property. It was theirs, given to them by God. We just went through a whole Bible verse about it, or Bible read about it Monday. We're in that part of the Bible right now, and we're talking about the title to that land, the doling out and the ownership of that particular piece of property, which the Iranians and all them people are calling Palestina, which means shining city, which does not exist. It was promised to them by a pope who does not own the property to begin with, so that promise was never filled. And they continue to fight based on an idea of something that has never existed and never will, because that property is already spoken for by God. And I have the title to it right here. And you were getting biblical. I'm talking 4 months ago. I can't remember yesterday. I don't know what you're talking about 4 months ago, but I was not getting biblical other than pointing out that the recording of this war was recorded in the Bible. But I was not Bible versing. But what do you mean 4 months ago? What happened 4 months ago? Kevin says, Monkey, name one war that lasted less than 6 months other than the Falkland Islands that just happened to happen under Reagan. Gulf War, maybe? It's the only one I can think of. That was pretty quick. Wasn't even really a war. It was really them just testing out the catalog of new weapons. Seeing what everything does. Pull up G4. What does this thing do? I don't know. Neat. Pull up G5. What does that do? That's all they were doing. Monkey Juice says, Kevin, I agree. Now, what do you mean by 4 months? What does that mean? Did I miss something? I always feel like you guys are talking about something I don't know what you're talking about. The last thing you said was, let's get biblical. I'll say anything to be against Trump Club. Yep, biblical. You were getting biblical. I'm talking 4 months ago. Yeah, I don't know what 4 months ago was. Putin said 3 days, says Monkey Juice. The Iran war started 4 months ago. It did, but Trump didn't start the Iran war. And that was just the current volleying of weapons. But it did not start 4 months ago. It started 2,000 years ago. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Not worry about it. Of course I'm worried about it. You brought it up. I'm trying to answer you, but I don't know what you're talking about. So you have to be more clear so that I can answer you. I do have an answer. I just need to know what you're talking about. Just because I'm searching for the answer to what you're saying does not mean I don't have an answer to counter what you're saying. Yeah, it's been going on for years and years and years, says Big John Nugget. It really has. A lot longer than you've been alive, for sure. This particular session of people fighting, they're calling it a new war. I get that. But it isn't a new war. That's a mistake that the media makes by calling it a new war. It's not new. Kevin says, Muggy, the conflict in Iran has only been for 4 months, and yet here you are bitching about it. And earlier you said Trump started it. He didn't. Trump didn't have anything to do with what they're doing over there. He just got drug into it. You watched it happen while we were dealing with the Ukraine thing. And then that went off on October 7th. Remember that? Remember the October 7th thing? That's what began all of this. And we were drug into it. We didn't even want to be involved in it. But we got drug into it because that's what the world police does. And I've always said we should stop trying to be the world police. We should turn inward, shut the borders, and worry about this country. That's my position. And Kevin says before the Ayatollah, Iran was an ally of the U.S. That's correct. And if you'll go back to the 60s or the 50s and look at photographs of Iran, you will be very surprised at what you see because it doesn't look anything like it looks now. If you saw it, you would think you were looking at California. Girls running around in mini skirts, driving around, people frolicking and having fun in the sun and wearing shades and listening to music. It ain't like that now. what happened? It was very quiet. It was all hush hush and happened behind closed doors, but it happened. And the Ayatollah took over. The Ayatollah Khomeini, you know who we're talking about. And then little by little, he shut the whole thing down. Brought out this other thing that they're doing. Now, I don't know much about it, and I don't care to know much about it because I'm not from Iran and I don't know anybody in Iran, and nothing that happens in that country affects my life in any way until the gas prices start going up. So I don't care what they're doing over there. I don't care to be involved in it. In fact, I wish we wouldn't be. Linda says, Monkey, were you even alive in the 70s? And Monkey says, yeah, I'm bitching about it, Kevin, because Trump said it was an easy hit. It is. Had no idea Iran was going to cause an oil shit show. Yeah, he did. In case you haven't noticed, Trump is the smartest businessman that we've had in office in a very, very, very long time, and has done some amazing things when he's been left alone long enough to get it done. Look at the stock market, the first term. Look at all the things that have happened in this country. Look at the building of the wall. Look at all the jobs. Look at everything that he's done. All the buildings stocked full of COVID supplies and the ships off the coast of New York that they turned away because they were pushing an agenda. When they leave him alone, he is an amazing orator of business and gets things done. Go back and watch interviews about him in the 80s where he's talking about the oil and how to use it, how to get it, how to negotiate about it. He knew then. He knows now. This is all part of the process. In case you haven't noticed, it all ends up in the oil. It always does. Why? Because that's what they're angling for. This is bigger than what's being talked about on TV. When you realize that, then you realize that you're a victim of a game being played by people that you don't know, that are higher than you on the totem pole. And Iran's army is no match for the U.S. military. All of the things that we've been doing, all of this volleying back and forth and negotiating has been to avoid wiping them off the face of the earth. Trump does not want to wipe them off the face of the earth. That's why he hasn't done it yet. But believe me, it's an easy hit. And when he gets tired of playing, that's exactly what's going to happen. Write it down that I said so. Big John says, in London, the Iranian embassy siege in the 80s. In London, the Iranian embassy siege in the 80s. Did what? They were under siege in the 80s? Trump's cabinet so clueless horses didn't come into play. Guess what? I don't know what, Monkey Juice. What are you talking about? What do horses have to do with anything? And Kevin says, Monkey, if you're so smart, what would you suggest Trump do? Wait for them to have a nuke? And Monkey Juice says, nope. When you plan a war, realize what you're getting into. You think he doesn't know what he's getting into? Are you that dumb? He has the entire situation room at his beck and call, and the joint chiefs of staff and the generals of all the militaries. He is well informed about what he's got into. He knows things you couldn't possibly even sleep knowing. Believe that. What are you talking about? How's my gas prices? Well, they're down today by about 50 cents. Stupidest cabinet in the world, really. Did you meet Obama's cabinet? What about Joe Biden's? How's my gas prices? They're down, actually. Kevin says, Monkey, you still haven't said what you think is a better idea. He's not going to because he doesn't have a better idea. All he can do is this. See, the difference between children and adults are adults seek for solutions to problems. They look for ways to handle situations. Children just whine about it, but they don't have any answers because they don't know how to do anything. That's the difference. Kevin says, Monkey, better than they were under Biden. Yeah, did you meet Biden's cabinet? You want to talk about dumb? Some of them were even playing pretend. They weren't even people. Debbie says a barrel of oil was selling for $70 according to yesterday's market. So there's that. Bet it beats the hell out of 150, which is what it was. Kevin says, Monkey, gas was over $5 a gallon under Biden. What was the reason for that? Yeah, there wasn't even a war going on at that time. That was just stupid Democrat spending. Why was the gas prices so high under Biden there, Monkey Juice? Biden don't play. Ask Putin till Trump came along and cut Ukraine funding. Trump scared of Putin. Yeah, he's so scared. Did you read that sentence back to yourself? What are you saying? He's so scared of Putin that he cut funding to the war that was fighting Putin. Think about what you're saying. If I was scared of somebody, it would be in my interest for another party to take them out. I wouldn't cut funding to it. I would let the other party take them out so I didn't have to deal with the thing I'm scared of. Which, by the way, Hillary Clinton started that skirmish, not Trump. Biden don't play. Of course he don't. He doesn't even know where he's at. Biden don't play. Biden showed weakness and everyone saw it. Everyone. That's why they removed him from office. That's why they pushed Kamala Harris right on in there without any primary votes to get rid of him because he is a weak coward that did not know how to handle himself. He couldn't even talk on a debate stage with Trump. Whined about whatever excuses, but the truth is he's no match for Trump. He knows it and everybody else in the world knows it, except for you, apparently. Biden don't play. Biden couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag. I can't believe you seriously think any of that. I really don't. I think you're trolling me. Because if you seriously think that, you really are dumb. Kevin says, Muggy, didn't Biden go to the Middle East to beg them to sell us more oil? I think he did. That was after he sold all of our reserves to someone else so that we didn't have any. Can't change history and America payouts, says Monkey Juice. Yeah, nobody's trying to change American history except for you. And what does American payouts have to do with anything? Who are we talking about here? Because wasn't it Biden that sent $5 billion to Ukraine? Taxpayer money? That was an American payout, was it not? Oh, what about when Obama sent 2 pallets of money totaling about $4 billion to Iran on planes? That was taxpayer money. Was that an American payout? What are we talking about exactly? The $14 million for the infinity pool? Oh, what about when Biden said, you're going to pay out $6 million or I'm going to have you fired? Remember that? Was that mea culpa? Was that an American payout? I don't think you know what you're talking about. Amanda says, hey, Amanda.
Democrat.
Join the party. Why are you being so quiet? Don't make me talk all the night.
I'm not gonna say it.
Say what?
I'm listening to the dumbass.
I hear you, but this is a podcast. It requires voices. Help me talk. Kevin says Biden told the world that a limited invasion of Ukraine would be acceptable. He did. It was Hillary Clinton that started that beef with Russia and pushed it, and it was the Democrat Party that got on board and pushed for it, turned away dignitaries and turned away diplomats and raised sanctions and raised all kinds of tariffs and things like that, and caused the problem that they're having now. Went over there and tried to force Ukraine to join NATO by pushing the issue when Putin said, this is the line in the sand. If you make me landlocked where every country around me is NATO, I'm going to have no choice but to invade because that's my one way to the ocean through that area. When he said that, he made it clear. You block him off, he's going to invade. What did they do? They blocked him off. What did he do? What he said he was going to do. He invaded. Yeah. Boris Johnson was involved in that, tore up the peace deal that was on the table. Ready to be signed. Already written up. Peace deal. Putin came to the table. He got it tore up in his face. So he invaded. I don't blame him. When I heard Hillary Clinton talking trash about Russia for no reason, I thought that then. Well, they're not going to put up with that. I wouldn't like somebody talking trash about my country. It wouldn't surprise me if she didn't start a war. Then we got a war. Big John says the SAS had to sort it out, and the Iranian king was ousted about that time. Right on. Monkey Juice says, Kevin, you're full of shit. $5 nonsense. What? Kevin knows more about what we're talking about than you do, and I've seen that clearly. And what is $5 nonsense? The gas prices? It was over $5 in some places. Yes, it was. Mighty Funny One says, can't blame Biden. He was sleeping. Welcome, Mighty. You're right. Not only was he sleeping, I don't think he was conscious. Big John Nugget says it's 7 pounds a gallon in Britain right now. Wow. That's a lot. That's right. Kevin says, Monkey, Biden is the guy that canceled drilling on federal lands under Biden. Then he went and begged Saudi for more oil, and they laughed at him. Yeah, that's what our enemies need to do, be laughing at us. They're not laughing now, are they? Sorry, my chat jumped. Amanda.
What?
Get on the podcast.
Huh?
Get on the podcast.
Sorry, I just sat back down.
Debbie says Putin only invaded Ukraine because Putin knew Biden was a pussy and would not do anything about it. That's true. I agree with that. I don't think he would have invaded if Trump was in office. I don't think he would have, because he didn't when he was. And he pulled back as soon as he got back in office. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Kevin says Monkey is a liberal. All they have is hate Trump at all costs. I don't disagree with that. And gas was $5.02 in June of 2022, says Judy. There you go, Monkey Juice has 2 confirmations, 3, including me. 3 confirmations that gas absolutely was over $5 a gallon. It was $3.70 this afternoon where I'm at, which is lower than it was 2 days ago. Monkey Juice says 300 billionaire to Iran makes Obama deal childish, and don't tell me it's Iran money. I didn't tell you it was Iran's money. I don't know what you're talking about, but I know he sent 2 pallets of money to Iran that was not Iran's money. Kevin says, Monkey, 300 million is promised from the UAE, not the USA. Monkey Juice says, hey, Kevin, one thing how Trump made your life better. Name one thing how Trump made your life better, except stupid tax on tips. Nobody cares about that. I do. I care about that. I'm a gig worker. I like the fact that I don't have to pay taxes on gig money anymore, and that waitresses don't have to pay taxes on their tips. I care about that. What do you mean nobody cares about that? My whole family have been waitresses at one time or another. We absolutely care about that. That is the salt of the earth people that work hard for that little bit of scratch they get on the table. They shouldn't have to pay taxes for it. One thing that Trump did to make my life better, he provided an inexhaustible item to talk about. And as a podcast runner, he has provided me with hours and hours and hours of content to have conversation over, which in turn makes me a little money if people hit that CashApp $ Jake Johnson band occasionally, or throw a super chat in the chat box for taking up all of my time. Monkey Juice, Monkey Juice, Monkey Juice. Since you're so prominent, maybe you should mea culpa, do some of that American payout style stuff you're talking about. That's one way Trump has made my life better. What about you? Kevin says, Monkey, he lowered my federal income taxes for one. That's another way. Debbie says, Monkey, hang on. You can't be this stupid. The 300 billion is not coming from the American taxpayer. It's coming from the area countries around Iran, but only if they stay within the peace treaty. How about that? Monkey Juice says Biden stepped up and stopped Putin. Trump's best buddy. In what world were you living in when that happened? Because that never happened. That's a lie as big as this house is.
Biden couldn't stand up, let alone step up.
Biden had no control over the military. Think about when he pulled out of Afghanistan and had people falling off of the airplanes, and he left all of the material that belonged to us there, all of our weapons and planes and trucks, just left it there. That's Biden controlling the military, and you think he stopped Putin? Maybe you are that stupid. And Trump has no love for Putin. He's just trying to get along with other world powers, which is what our president is supposed to do, to talk to the other world leaders and be able to have a rapport with them. If you had any brains at all, you'd know that. That's how you keep peace, by being able to talk to your neighbors. That's what the president is supposed to do. Name one other president that could talk to as many world leaders as Trump has and have them show respect. Nobody. Obama never spoke to any of them, except the ones that he wanted to. Trump, on the other hand, walked across the DNZ with no security and stood there in front of Kim Jong-un's face for 10 minutes, daring him to do anything about it, and then walked back across. And we hadn't heard from that guy since. Nobel Peace Prize? No. Let's give it to Obama for being black. Amber says the Clinton Foundation got big dollars. Oh, yeah. All right, boys and girls. This is exciting. Exciting, fun stuff here that you can only get on Politi-tics night. Amanda.
I'm here. What?
Speak.
I was waiting. You were talking. What do you want me to speak about?
Something that requires me not to talk for a minute. Jesus Christ. Co-host.
Golden showers. Yeah, that's all you're good at, Monkey, is golden showers. Amber says R. Kelly. Yeah, right?
Yeah, I don't even know where I'm at.
You're at 1028.
I have to ask, how old is Monkey Juice? He sounds like a child, says Kevin. Yeah, I've asked this question before, but I can't remember the answer.
He said he's in his 50s, I think.
Monkey Juice, how old are you? Sorry, my nose is itching.
I think he said he was born in the 70s, if I remember correctly.
Monkey Juice says golden showers. Are you talking about Trump? No, Trump's a germaphobe. Think about what you're saying. That's why everything's gold.
Yeah, because gold don't hold germs.
Amber says R. Kelly. Monkey Juice says, hey, Kevin, I'm old enough to know that Russia is our enemy and always will be. Well, they weren't. Russia was not our enemy. The Cold War was over. You know who made Russia our enemy? Your party did. Your Hillary Clinton did. Your woman president did. No, adults try to keep peace. Peace. Not have enemies. You're the one that wants enemies. Do you not see the fault in that logic? So not old enough to know better. No, you're not. Amber says, mighty in the basement sleeping.
All right.
I guess you're talking about Biden.
Yeah.
Kevin says, Muggy, didn't Obama say the Cold War is over? Right. And Monkey Juice says, tax on tips don't make you or break you. Well,
Bullshit.
You clearly don't work for tips, do you?
Bullshit. Because let me tell you, when you're making $2.10, $2.35 an hour,
yeah,
and you depend on them tips, and when you work at like Outback or
no,
Red
this
Lobster,
is yeah,
or them high-priced restaurants, when you get gratuity and people are coming in there spending $300, $400, $500 a table, and your tips are $70, $80, $90 a table. Yeah, your tips absolutely count.
That's spoken like a person that's never worked a hard day in their life.
Or never been a waiter or a waitress.
No, you don't have any idea what it means to make pittance and survive on it.
Right.
You don't know what it's like to worry about your electricity being turned off tomorrow. You don't know anything about being hungry. You don't know anything about collecting those tips with the hope that you may be able to pay off a bill or two before you go broke.
Or going to work and carry them heavy trays all night long with blisters on your feet because you pulled a double the night before and you're trying to make ends meet.
Yeah. So why don't you keep your little opinions to yourself when it comes to things like that? Because you clearly don't know what you're talking about.
Monkeys in construction. How about that no tax on overtime there, Monkey? How about your time and a half pay you don't get taxed the shit out of?
And don't offer any of it to your friendly local podcast that gives you all the entertainment.
He can't. He lives in Florida. His gas prices are $5 a gallon. Boo-hoo.
Where have I heard that before?
I bet you he smokes $5 a pack of cigarettes, though.
I don't know. Do you smoke?
Don't bitch about that.
Big John says Putin's losing the war anyway. The Ukrainians are pushing them back, and they're firing into Russia territory. Facts. Seems to be. I always thought that Russia was a paper tiger, and they've kind of proven that point over the last few years, because I thought they would have just wiped Ukraine off the map when they got tired of playing games. I really did, but they haven't. It keeps being a problem. I don't know why. I don't really care. I mean, it's not my problem, but it is a thing that's happening.
And if you make the most of your money on tips, it absolutely does.
Monkey Juice says, yep, campaign horseshit. Talk tax on tips. Well, it's a thing that got passed, so it wasn't just campaign talk. He made it happen. Yet another thing that Trump does that your leaders don't. When he says something, he does it. When he promises something, he keeps his promise. It doesn't go in one ear and out the other. It doesn't say one thing and then you find out on a released document 10 years later that it's the other thing.
And Trump gets up in the morning and works until 2 or 3 o'clock a.m. the next morning, and then gets up and does it again 7 days a week. Biden couldn't get out of bed before noon.
No. Debbie says, look at Monkey acting all smart by saying golden showers, quoting from the Steele dossier. That was totally made up and paid for by the Clinton and the DNC Foundation.
All right.
The Clinton Foundation and the DNC. Yep. Amber says, actually, banana. It's honestly can. Most wait staff get around $3 an hour before taxes or before tips. What are you talking about? What's a banana got to do with that?
She's talking to Monkey.
Oh, you're talking about the tax on tips thing. I got you. Banana, monkey. Okay. I got to learn how to speak autistic. Got a little of the tism there, don't you? And what state do you live in, Monkey Juice? Asks Amber.
He's a Floridiot.
Floridiot. A Democrat and Floridiot.
You know, I'll wait till you get to it.
Amber says, are you in a red or blue state or outside of the states? He's in a red state. My chat keeps jumping.
10:34. I said he's a Floridiot.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin goes, Biden couldn't find his way out of wet toilet paper. Right, Kevin?
Amen to that.
Amber says, the banana lives in the state of oranges. Yes.
Monkey Juice says, don't leave it. I have a lot more. What are you talking about?
Don't leave yet. I have a lot more.
I'm not leaving yet. But it ain't going to be long. I'm going to try to get to the bottom of the chat anyway. Always a pleasure to agree or to disagree. I hear you. And it is. Kevin says, besides, Amanda, Kevin thinks you have a pretty voice. Right. So you need to be talking with that pretty voice. Kevin says, smiley, smiley. Amber says, hugs. Good night, y'all. Good night, Amber. Thank you for being here, honey. Insulin seizure meds time, right? I apologize for the pauses, but this chat is harder to control than I'm accustomed to, and I'm trying to keep up with it, and it's jumping all over the place.
Amber says, know y'all next podcast.
All right.
And Judy says, night, Amber. Nugget says, night, Amber. I said, night, Amber. Nugget, or Monkey goes, I'm a 39-year-old carpenter, self-employed.
Ah, so you work when you want to.
Right. And then he says, I do smoke. And gas is $3.60 to $4 a gallon. Then what are you bitching about? It's
Yeah,
the
what
same
are you
thing
bitching
across
about?
the country.
A why giving day? I don't know what that means. A why giving day. I do not know what that means, Monkey Juice. Judy says, according to Google, Jake's chat's going to jump.
According to Google, gas was $3.12 when Biden left.
That's right.
Monkey says, tax on tips isn't enough to make or break a country's economy, but
that's not what it's intended for. They're not trying to make or break an economy. They're trying to give waitresses a little relief, and it does that. Why do you think? You think that tax on tips was intended to, level the deficit and raise the stock market and raise the GDP? Is that what you think he's trying to do with that? No, that's a genuine article of giving to the people that Trump did. He didn't have to do that. It doesn't help anybody but those people. And he did it because they needed it. That's what a president does. What exactly is your problem with it?
Monkey says he's turning Florida blue, LOL.
No, you're not.
That'll never happen, Monkey.
You won't get past DeSantis, let alone all the people there that support him.
Right.
But you might end up in that Gator place. Kevin says, Monkey, but giving illegals welfare was going to save our economy? How many millions of illegals were allowed in the country under the fearless Biden? I can answer that question. About 11 million people a day.
Look what the Somalians did to Minnesota.
Yeah. Amanda says,
no, it'll never happen, Monkey.
Never in a million years. Big John says most countries are suffering with the economy because millions are claiming state benefits and don't want to work. True. Amen to that. Yeah, you got a problem with waitresses getting a break on their tips, but you don't care about those credit cards they give all those illegal immigrants to blow all our taxpayer money that should be going to veterans and people with disabilities. Instead of perfectly healthy people driving around in Cadillacs and buying with food stamps. How come you ain't got a problem with that there, Monkey? Judy says, Monkey, I have a question for you. Why are Democrats so hell-bent on letting illegals vote? Because that's the only way they can win without cheating. Amber says, last time I said Monkey, I got a 3-day ban. I don't think it's because you said Monkey. You might have been talking to Monkey, but it's something else you said. So I call him Banana. I hear you. Who banned you for 3 days? Wasn't me. I didn't ban you. It wasn't the ban hammer.
Nope.
Kevin says, LOL, Amber. Linda says, it wasn't me. No, wasn't gas up $5 per gallon when Biden was in office? In some places, yes.
Yes.
And Judy says, you got banned for saying monkey? No.
Yes, Linda. It was over $5 a gallon in most places.
Kevin says, Linda, I want to know why gas was over $5 a gallon under Biden.
Because he sold all of our reserves in oil.
That's right. Amber says, yes, for Turner Monkey. It's considered racist, or so my account was flagged. For Turner Monkey? I don't know who that is. Are you talking about something you did on another show? That's frowned upon in some parts. Monkey Juice says, Amanda, we got a crazy wild monkey making the news, running around in Mount Dora.
That's nothing new.
If you go a little further south, there's monkeys all over the place.
And you'll have bear too. There's bear all over Tampa.
I used to have monkeys, little spider monkeys, come in and steal coins off of my table when I was living in a motel in Homestead on right there on what's that beach? The beach. When you think of the beach, what is it? Hello.
The only one I think of was Daytona.
No, down towards
Fort
Miami.
Pierce.
No, the other one. Towards Miami. Fort Lauderdale.
Lauderdale.
Yeah, I was living on Fort Lauderdale Strip in a motel, little Indian motel there on the second floor, and monkeys would come in and steal coins off my table and run out the window right there during Hurricane Andrew. Yes, sir. Monkeys all over the place. I didn't even know Florida had monkeys that weren't in Busch Gardens, but they do. Kevin says, when there's a conflict in the Middle East, gas prices go up. So why did they go up under Biden? Well, because we have a mountain in Arizona somewhere, or somewhere over there, Wyoming. And under that mountain is a big cave, and it's full of barrels of oil. And we keep it. It's enough oil that we could run this country for a year with that oil. And we keep it to offset gas prices so that when gas prices go up because of conflicts in the Middle East, we can offset that price and keep it down low by using some of that reserve. And then when we get through that period, we fill it back up. It's called a reserve because it works just like the gas tank on a motorcycle. When you run out of gas, you flip over the reserve and you got 5 more gallons. Or you can get 30 more miles or something like that. Not 5 more gallons, but you know what I'm saying. It works that way. Biden sold it all, cleared it out in one fell swoop. Why did he do that? Because it gave him a little spending cash, and he probably sent that money to Ukraine. Probably. I don't know what he did with the money. Nobody ever says what he did with the money, but he sold the reserves. Trump had to fill it back up while he got started in his next term, which is one of the reasons the gas prices stayed so high, because he was busy filling up the reserves. But you guys don't understand that sort of thing. You think that it's supposed to happen the moment he says it, because that's how your brain works. But that's not how it works in the real world.
Fact checker. In 2022, President Biden authorized the largest ever SPR release, 180 million barrels, plus earlier smaller releases, mainly to address high global oil prices after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, post-COVID demand recovery, and supply concerns.
There you go. Kevin says, who did Biden sell our reserves to again? China? Amber says, Facebook did. Oh, Facebook banned you. Well, I mean, you can say banana if you want to, but you're not going to get banned for saying monkey here. And shame on Facebook. Big John says, Britain's full of monkeys. It's called the government. All right. Kevin says, John, LOL. Fact checker. Post-COVID demand recovery and supply concerns, says Amanda.
I just read that.
Yep. Big John says, I'm going to say good night, everybody. See y'all tomorrow night. Big John, God bless you, my friend. I love you, brother. Thank you for being here. Kevin says, does anyone know what Biden did with the money from the selling off of our reserves? I couldn't tell you. Nobody likes to talk about that part. I have not heard. I have no idea. But I would imagine it ended up in Ukraine. That's my guess. Because they came up with that money. Remember that we had reached the limit of our Federal Reserves and that they were having to print money. Remember all that? All of a sudden, they're sending $5 billion to Ukraine. Well, where did $5 billion come from if we had to print money last week? Right? That's my guess. I'm guessing that they sold off parts of America to fund this little project that they have going on over there. That's what I would say. I don't know that to be true, so I don't want to be accused of pushing misinformation. I can't verify that, but that would be my guess. Or something like that. One of those pet projects that end up going nowhere, like the war on climate change or whatever. Because don't you know Florida's underwater right now? Don't believe me? Go watch the movie An Inconvenient Truth that was produced by one of our vice presidents. So surely he's telling the truth. Kevin says Facebook would ban a ham sandwich. They probably would. Damn Facebook. I like ham sandwiches. That's what I had for dinner tonight.
Wow.
Wow, what?
He sold it for $94 to $95 a barrel.
Wow. $94 a barrel. That's what he sold us out for.
180 million barrels.
That's crazy right there.
$17 billion.
How about that? He could have got $150 a barrel.
16 million was used by the Department of Energy.
To what? 16 million? That's nothing.
16 billion.
A billion. What do they use it for? What does the Department of Energy even need? Was that nonsense in Texas with all the wind farms freezing up?
To purchase oil replenishing. To purchase oil for replenishing.
He sold our oil to buy oil?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense. That sounds like some shit Joe Biden would do. I got an idea. Let's sell some oil. Well, what do you want to buy with it? Oil.
Congress rescinded $2.5 billion of the proceeds for deficit reduction offset, removing it from the SPR replenishment fund.
Yeah, that sounds retarded. Judy says, good night, Nugget. And Mugju says, on average, your normal oil-producing countries produces 190 million barrels a day. What's your point? Let me ask you a question. What countries are those? Do you know what a normal oil-producing country is? Did you know that we also have oil refineries here, but we can't use the oil that we refine here? Because there's two kinds of oil. There's thick viscosity and thin viscosity. And we use thick viscosity, but we refine thin viscosity. So we have to sell our oil and buy our oil. Sell the oil we make, buy the oil we use.
Wow.
You see how that works?
Monkey, your numbers are so screwed it's not even funny.
Yes. That's right. Drill, baby, drill.
Oil producing countries' daily crude oil production, including least concentrate.
Listen up.
Variety.
Monkey juice.
With global totals around 77 to 85 million barrels per day. Now,
77 to 85, not 190.
United States, 13.2 to 13.8 million barrels a week.
A week, not a day.
Saudi Arabia, 9 to 10 million a week.
Not a day.
10.1 million in early 2026. That was Saudi Arabia. Canada, 5.0 to 5.1 million. China, 4.2 to 4.44 million.
Drill, baby, drill. Why are gas prices so high, says Monkey Juice. Well, let me explain this to you. First of all, we can't use the oil that we refine in this country, so we have to sell it at a fraction of the cost. And then we buy oil from another country, which at double the cost. So we're losing money both directions. And then somebody slaps tariffs. And then somebody has to fill reserves. And then somebody has to negotiate and use part of that oil to pay off this and do that over there. And then Democrats pass bills that stop all of that so that we can fight over it. Because everything we try to do, like drill, baby, drill, till we can get down to the cruder oil and use that oil and build a refinery that'll make that work for us, then Democrats jump up and want to pass bills like the last one they just tried to pass, which puts a stop on all of that, which keeps our gas prices high. That's why. Stop Democrats from passing bills and allow us to go drill and get oil in this country that we can make in this country and use in this country, and our gas prices will drop back down to 70 cents a gallon.
The biggest driver has been the U.S.-Iran conflict that began escalating in late February 2026.
Because of Democrats.
The Strait of Hormuz disruptions. This is critical checkpoint handles 20% of global seaborne oil. Shipping effectively halted or was severely constrained, leading to major supply shortage in the Middle East. Crude oil benchmarked spiked above $100 a barrel at times, from $70 pre-conflict, directly pushing up gasoline costs since crude makes up over half of the pump price.
There you go. That's the answer to your question. Now take that and put it in your pipe and smoke it. Probably green energy project, says Kevin. That wouldn't surprise me at all. America, Canadian, and Russian, says Monkey Juice. China, Japan, Germany. Your turn. What, we're not just naming random countries?
Prices have declined in recent weeks due to optimism around tentative U.S.-Iran agreement to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Lowering crude oil prices recently around $74 or below $100 has provided relief through full resolution, and restored flows will take time and volatility remains.
So what you're saying is, when Republicans are allowed to do what they say they're going to do without Democrats getting in the way, gas prices fall. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Imagine that. Kevin says, Monkey, the reason gas prices are so high is because the oil market is global. It's a global market. It doesn't just happen in America. It's a reciprocal business.
Right now, across the country, gas is below $4 a gallon.
Correct. Monkey Juice says 80 million. 80 million what? Barrels of oil? I thought you said 190 million a day. So you were wrong. But you'll just skip right past that. Won't even mention it. And then throw out a new number, which is half the number you gave to start with. Huh.
And he went from 1 day to there's 6 more days after that.
Why are we buying oil at Drill Baby Drill? Because we're not allowed to drill because of Democrats passing laws to stop us from drilling and holding us up in Supreme Court and in 9th District Court and fighting every single thing we try to do. We tried to give water to California and they took us to court over it while California was on fire. Think about that for a minute.
Oh, but Trump has fixed that, by the way.
Has he?
Yeah, he ran a water line from Canada down California.
Take that, you greedy sons of bitches. Kevin says, here's a question for Monkey. What country uses the most oil? I'm sorry. What country uses the most coal of all countries on the planet? I would guess China or India. Monkey Juice says, don't say Democrats with Republican Congress and Senate. Yeah, but that's what they're doing. And just because a few people in the Senate call themselves Republicans and vote for Democrat policies every time, that don't make them Republicans. They just won that state. Judy says, amen, Jake. Thank you, Judy. Monkey Juice says, leave the Democrats out of it. I can't. They're the cause of it.
The Democrats?
President, Congress, Senate. Yeah. No, it doesn't work like that. Stop pushing the buck. I'm not pushing the buck, whatever that means. I'm telling you the reason for your problems. Democrats cause the problems that cause everything to keep being high when it comes to oil. You go look at every bill passed, every one of them that causes oil to be expensive are Democrat bills. Every single one of them pushed in Democrat places, usually under the guise of some green energy deal. The new Green Deal, remember that? Or the Save America Fund or whatever it was they were doing. What's the last one? Some kitschy name like that. Peace on Earth bill, whatever, some nonsense like that, which usually says something like double the price for everything and keep Republicans from getting anything done. That's why. That's the reason we're having the problems we're having. If they would get out of Trump's way and just let him do what he's trying to do without stopping him, it would be successful and it would be massive. And they know that. That's why they keep trying to stop him. Because if he wins, they will never get elected again, ever. Because everyone will see that he's right.
No.
That's pushing the buck.
Kevin and Monkey are going between coal and oil. Kevin is correct. China uses 4.78 to 5+ billion metric tons annually.
There you
Roughly
go.
51 to 56% of global consumption of coal. India is second. Now, the next one is the United States uses 20.25 to 20.7+ million barrels per day of oil. China is in second.
Yep.
India, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Brazil.
And that's just
so
about the pecking order, too. Just what you just listed, that's about where the power structure is, too. It goes America, China, Russia, India, down to everybody else. Judy says, Monkey, I take it you're not going to answer my question. Answer her question, Monkey. And Monkey Juice says, oil is a commodity. I get it. But drill, baby, drill. Yes, if you would let us, we would. Go look. Just take 5 minutes and Google why we're not drilling. You'll find a bill that is pushed and signed by Democrats and a few Republicans. Those are called rhinos, by the way. They're not real Republicans. And you can just about point them out. Sorry, my chat just keeps jumping all over the place. Monkey Juice says China uses the most oil. No, they use the most coal, though. We use the most oil.
Kevin, that would be Indonesia. 40 to 55% of imports of coal for China is from Indonesia.
There you go. Kevin says, Judy, Monkey doesn't answer questions. He demands answers to his, though. Yeah, he needs to answer some questions. China uses the most oil. China's oil uses the most oil, and then India. Nope. America uses the most oil. China uses the second amount of oil. India's in third. Now, when it comes to coal, it's the other way around. China, India, America. Kevin says, Monkey, wrong. The US of A uses the most oil. Correct. Big John says the liberals liked Ed Miliband. No, the liberals like Ed Miliband are pushing the green crap and won't drill in Britain. Exactly. That's exactly it. We've got places lined up, ready to go. Remember when Biden was elected into office? Do you remember what his first act was? Can you guess? That was just after he stole the election from Trump, and Trump got taken out of office before he was ready to finish, where we were drilling. And then there was this big Keystone pipeline that was going to bring all that oil down to Texas so we could refine it and then sell it back to America, right? First thing Biden did was shut down that pipeline and fire all those people and then shut down all the drilling. That's why we're not drill, baby, drill for things like that. Because believe it or not, when a president does something, it takes a while to reverse it. Just so you know. Kevin says, Monkey, China uses the most coal. And India is the next highest consumer of coal. Monkey Juice says, better Hormuz open before the midterms, or it's going to be bad. Yeah, that's true. But not for the reason you think. Because after the midterms, if the Democrats win, they're going to shut it down permanently. Or they're going to allow it to be shut down permanently by passing policies that look the other way while they do what they want to do. Trump is the only one that's actually doing something about it when no one else will. That's why you're talking about it right now, because he did something about it. Right? That was not even a thing until he started messing with it. And the reason he started messing with it is because they were taking advantages of us with the Strait of Hormuz. And he saw it, and he put a stop to it. And that's what caused this conflict. You got it? I don't think you do. I think you still don't understand. I think you'll keep on talking about it like you believe what you're saying, even though everybody here is proving you wrong in every way, on every point thus far. Maybe you should think about that for a minute and stop listening to Democrats. Right, Amanda?
Democrats.
Monkey Juice says Russia, Kevin. Russia what? Russia's a paper tiger.
No, that was an answer to the question. Yeah, that's where China gets the largest portion of its coal from. Monkey said Russia.
Right. Kevin says, Monkey, where does China get the largest portion of its coal from? Russia, Kevin. Got it. I see now. Kevin says the answer is North Korea. They also have high sulfur content coal, unlike the U.S. that has the lowest sulfur content coal, which is why Trump calls it clean coal. Everybody makes a big deal out of him saying it. Coal's dirty. Why does he keep saying clean? Because it's pure, and that's what he means. Pure coal. He says clean coal because it sounds better to him, but it's pure coal without all the additives, and that's good. And Kevin says, Monkey, so far you have been wrong every time, which was the point I just made. What's the question? I'll pay attention, says Monkey Juice.
The question was, Judy's question was, why are Democrats so hell-bent on letting illegals vote?
Yeah. We've answered all your questions. Answer one of ours. Because he watches CNN, Kevin, right? Kevin says, Monkey, now I ask you, why would I listen to a person that's been wrong on every time? I don't know. That's why CNN's still in business. Amanda?
I just read that.
You read that one. Okay. Monkey Juice says, well, Kevin, you know as well as I do. I think he knows better than you do. What you can't escape is high gas prices. You figure it out. The gas prices are lower than they have been in a long time. What are you talking about?
And they're going down.
You just keep saying things, but that don't make them true. You can say high gas prices. You can say aliens, but that don't make it true. They are going down within acceptable margins.
You know, I've noticed something. The Monkey's always bitching about the gas prices. But he's not bitching about all these illegals that come in here and take up the welfare for the people that need it,
Or stabbing people in the neck on trains.
or stabbing people, or taking up our properties and our land and our housing for people that need it, and just stealing taxpayers' money. He don't care about none of that.
Nope. He cares about the talking points that has been given to him by his overlords.
Oh, CNN and
Yes.
and MSNBC, and yeah, that's right.
Kevin says, I would think that a person that's been listening to their TV and proven wrong on every point would stop listening to the people that have been lying to him. But then again, I'm not monkey juice. Damn. Slapped down by Kevin.
That's hilarious.
Does that dick taste bad in your mouth? Because he just slapped you across the lips with it. Monkey Juice says, really, Amanda? Yeah, really.
I watch too much Fox News. There hasn't been an election in 2 years. First of all, I don't watch any of it.
No, we don't watch Fox News.
I don't watch any of the news. I do my own research.
Yeah, we run a podcast. We're responsible for the things we say. So we have to know we're right when
and
we
I
say
fact
them.
check everything.
Because he's a Democrat, Kevin, says
Yeah,
Amanda.
right? Because he's a Democrat.
Kevin says, Monkey thinks China gets its coal from Russia. You're right. Yeah, Russia is not the problem you think it is, nor are they as big as you think they are. They're basically just blowhards with a dude that rides a horse bareback and shirtless. And that's pretty cool to some people, but they're not very strong. And not nearly as involved in the world's goings-on as some other countries are. 34 federal judges said, show me proof. And Trump had no answer. What are you talking about?
Great.
Are you trying to do that? Trump's a felon again?
No, what he just told me is epic.
What'd he say?
He said, can't keep going back to illegals.
Why
How
not?
about something new? Okay, get off the gas prices then.
Right. Yeah, take a little of your own medicine there.
Answer Judy's question. You can't answer that, can you?
Nope. And what does 34 federal judges have to say? Show and proof about what? Kevin says, Monkey, do you realize that China and Russia hate each other? Linda says, anthracite coal is a hard, clean, burning coal that burns longer and puts out more heat. Anthracite coal. Yes. Clean coal. Big John says, Whoopi got her arse handed to her by Vance. So funny. I saw parts of that. That was good. Vance don't play no shit. He's very good at the debate stage. And he comes prepared. And I love to see it.
Vance going to be president in 2028.
He probably will be. And I think Trump picked wisely. I thought it was a mistake because I'd never heard of him. And I was kind of in the can for that Ramaswamy guy. I kind of liked him a little bit. But he made the right choice. Vance is a baller. Can't keep going back to illegals. You're still doing that two thing. It's T-O. T-O-O is when you're talking about you and someone else.
My living is fine, Monkey.
Amanda says it was great too, Nugget, the JD Vance thing. Trump's watch. How's your daily living?
Fine.
I live pretty good. I'm a little strapped for cash, but other than that, I live great.
My bills are paid. I got food and everything I need.
It would be nice if somebody takes up all my time, put a little into Kitty every now and then, though.
He can't. He's a 1099. He don't get any of the bonuses.
Oh, I see. Take but don't give. I got you.
He drives around all day. That's all he does.
Debbie says, Monkey can't keep going back to Trump because you are miserable and want everyone else miserable.
Right.
Amen to that.
bottom line, your cost of living will dictate the new president. No, it won't.
No, it won't.
We get rid of all these freaking illegals, and the new president will walk right on in there just fine.
Yeah. If Trump can succeed in staving off the illegal immigration and lowering the gas prices, those two things, Democrats will not win for 20 years. Period.
Let's not to mention the $5 a dozen of eggs when Trump took office, or $5 for a gallon of milk.
Yeah,
when Trump
you
took
remember that
office,
when eggs cost $9 a carton?
And a loaf of bread for $4, and
come
all
on
that.
now. That was Biden. Bidenomics.
I just bought a gallon of milk the other day for $1.20.
Anyway, it's 11:20, and I got to go to bed because I'm tired and I have had no weekend to rest. So I'm going to go rest now. Thank you all so much for being here and getting politically. I love it. I love the arguing. I love the combatants, and I love the fact that we can bump fists and walk away as buddies and do it again next week. That's great. Thank you all for your contributions to this conversation, and thank you all for those that were arguing on the negative side of things. Both of you guys are awesome at your job, and a debate would not be a debate without it. So thank you. God bless each and every one of you. I love you true. Thank you for putting up with my computer shit. I am working on it. I got a new one coming. It's just going to take another week for me to get to it, maybe 2. It's got to come from the mountains, so that somebody's got to go get it. So it's going to take a little while to get here, but I got one coming, and maybe we can get back on track. Until next time, we'll see you tomorrow night for a Bible study. Have a great night, everybody. I love you all. God bless, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Good night, y'all.